Alrighty, I hope you gave that challenge a good faith effort. Even if you weren't able to get it all, I hope you tried. And you're only cheating yourself if you don't, alright? So let's run through this together. If you did it yourself, you can see how I did it. Maybe you see some things you could change. Or maybe you went even further and you can post in the QA what you did different. So let's start with the layout. Here is the screenshot that I provided you. And again, we are going to just kind of implement this right here. We have a label, text field, and 2 buttons, and the background is a dark transparent. All right, so let's go over here to our forgot password vc.zib file. And I'm going to go ahead and get the view here, and let's just make the background let's do custom, and get my color picker over here. And we are going to go with a dark gray, and we'll make it maybe, let's do black actually. We'll do black and set it at about maybe 65% transparency. We'll see how that looks. And then we're going to need our main view. So I'm going to open up our object library, search for UI view, and just drag that right in here. And just kind of size that up a little bit. We'll see how tall we need to make it, but let's go ahead and drop in a label. That's going to be right up here at the top. And then we're going to need a text field. We'll put that right below it. And then we're going to need 2 buttons. One here, and then I'm just going to hold Option and drag it over. And so that gives us our main layout. Now for our label, let's go ahead and put in the content, the copy. So we're going to say forgot your password. Enter. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and put our constraints first. Let's go ahead and put these 2 bottom buttons in their own stack view here. Let's see here, stack view. And then with that stack view selected, I'm going to select our other 2 elements and embed that in a stack view as well. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and select our stack view here. And then I'm going to pin it 20 from each side. And then we're going to need to grab our our container view here, and let's go ahead and center that horizontally and vertically. And there we go, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and also constrain it 20 from each side. There we go. And then for our stack view here, we need to change up some things. We got a lot of spacing, so let's go ahead and reduce that spacing to maybe, let's see what 18 looks like. It's a little tight. Let's go with 20. And then for our stack view here, we're going to need to change the alignment to fill. That looks better. And let's see here. We'll need to do something with this stack view here. This is the inner stack view with the 2 buttons inside of it. Change the spacing to 20 and the distribution to fill equally. There we go, that looks better. And then let's finish the copy for this label here. Let's see, where did our text go? It looks like our text just disappeared on us. But we're gonna say, forgot your password. Enter your email below, then check your inbox. There we go. And we'll need to set the lines to 0 so that it fills up as much space as it needs. And we'll change the alignment to center. And then we'll go ahead and change our font to custom and the family to Futura. And then let's change the color to the red that we're using. All right, that's looking pretty good. And then for our text field here, let's go ahead and put a placeholder. We'll say email. And then for these 2 buttons, I'm going to select both of them, give them a height of 40. We're going to change the text color to our custom off-white color. Then we're going to change the background to our dark blue. Let me see if I can find that right here. Is that right? Yep, there we go. And then we're also going to change the font to custom and family Futura. And this one is going to say cancel. And this one is going to say reset password. There we go. And then let's also increase the height of our text field here. We've been making our text fields 40 tall. Or was it 35? I think it's 35. So coming back here, let's change that to 35. And that's looking good. Let's select both of our buttons here. And we need to change the class. So this is in the identity inspector here. Change the class to rounded button. That looks good. And then we need our container view here. We're going to change that to rounded. Let's see, I thought we had a rounded view. Let's see here. Rounded views. Rounded shadow view. Okay, let's go with that. Rounded shadow view. All right, that looks pretty good. I think that pretty much takes care of our UI here. Now we just need to hook up our buttons and our text field. So I'm gonna hold Option and click on our forgot password vc.swift file to open it up in the assistant editor. Close our left-hand pane to give us a little bit more room. And here we're going to have our outlets. And we need an outlet for our text field here. So for our email, so I'm going to say email text. And then we need some IB actions for our cancel and our reset password. So again, holding Control and dragging and letting go. This is going to be an action. So I'm going to say cancel clicked. And then for our reset password, Control and drag and say reset clicked and connect. All right, then I'm going to close our assistant editor, go back to our standard editor, open up our left pane again, and let's go to our forgot password.swift file. All right, so here in cancel clicked, we'll just take care of that real quick. We'll just say dismiss, animated true, completion nil. Now for the actual reset functionality, remember my hint was to Google manage users in Firebase iOS, and I told you to see if you could find a method that did what we want. So if we scroll down here, what we will find is we have set a user's email address. That's not what we want. Verification email, no. User's password, here we go. Send a password reset email, perfect. So it says here you can send a password reset email to a user with this method. And yeah, perfect. So we're just going to copy this, jump back into Xcode. And actually, rather than just copying and pasting, you should get in the habit of, we need to import Firebase. You should get into the habit of typing it out yourself. That will kind of cement the, create that muscle memory using these methods. So auth.reset, send password reset with email. All right, so we need the email here. So let's go ahead and grab that from our outlet email text. And you should be familiar with this. We're going to use the guard method. So we're going to say guard let email equal email text dot text, and we'll do a check to make sure it's not empty. So we'll say email dot is not empty. Else, and if it is empty, what we're going to do is we're going to use our simple alert function, and we'll say error for the title, and for the message we'll just say please enter email, and then we will return out of this function. All right, so now we have our email. We're doing a check to make sure that there is one. Then we'll pass that into our send password reset function, and completion, just press enter, and that will return an optional error. So we'll do a check to see that this was successful. We'll say if let error is equal to error. So if there was an error, what are we going to do? We're going to handle that. We'll also debug print it just so we can see the error in our log, and we'll say debug print error. And then we will handle the Firebase error by saying self.handle fire auth error and pass in that error. And then we will return out of the function. But if we are successful, then we're just going to go ahead and dismiss the modal. So I'm going to say self.dismiss, animated is true, completion is nil. All right, just going to do a little bit of cleanup here, and then let's discuss what we have going on here. So we enter an email into our text field, we click reset clicked, we get that email, and then we pass that email into the send password reset method, which will initiate a password reset for the given email address. The user receives that email, clicks on a link, and that will reset the password. All right, so that is all very good. But right now we don't have any way of actually seeing this view that we just created because we aren't launching it from anywhere. So let's go to our login view controller. And here we have our IB action for forgot pass clicked. All right, so this was the second part of your challenge. And the hint that I gave you was to do a Google search for present modal view controller Swift. All right, and I told you that you'd be able to find a few options here. Just gonna open up a few here and see which one looks the best. All right, so we have this. Let modal view controller, modal presentation style. Yep, this is pretty much just what we want. You first initialize the view controller, you set the modal presentation style, and then you present the view controller. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to initialize our view controller that we want to present. So let VC equal forgot password VC. We initialize it. And then we're going to go ahead and set some properties on it for when it is presented. So we say VC dot modal transition style and presentation style. Okay, so you can see here it says for the transition style, this transition style is to use when presenting the view controller, and we have a few options. We have cover vertical, cross dissolve, flip horizontal, partial curl. There's a few that you can use. I think most of these are kind of gimmicky, the flip horizontal and the partial curl. I do like the cross dissolve one though, okay? So that just kind of fades in and out. And then we have the VC.modal presentation style, and this determines how the modal is presented, okay? And again, we have a couple of options. We have over full screen, we have over current context. This is the one that we want. This is a presentation style where the content is displayed over another view controller's content, okay? So we'll be able to see the background of the login view controller through our transparent background. And then finally, all we have to do is present this view controller from our login view controller. So we say present, and we say VC, animated is true, and completion is nil. And that's all there is to it. So I'm going to save that and run it. All right, so let's go ahead and test this out. Clicking on forgot password, and ooh, there we go. Very nice. You can see the cross dissolve animation is presented over the current context. Very nice. Now, I don't think that I have a test user yet with a real email address, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Create a new user. I'll say Johnny at johnnybcodes.com. Password is 123123, 123123, and we'll register that user. All right, and so now I'm going to log out. And now I'm going to say that I forgot my password, just so I can show you what this looks like. So I'm going to say Johnny at johnnybcodes.com, and I'm going to say reset password. And once that is successful, it is dismissed. You could probably put in a activity indicator in there. But now I'm going to go ahead and grab that email and show you what this looks like. All right, so once you send your reset password request, you'll get something that looks like this. And it says, hello, follow this link to reset your, and then you have this kind of gobbledygook right here. This is our project identifier. And we just click on this link right here, and this will take us to reset our password. Don't use that. And I'm going to set a new one. I'm going to say 123 321, and we'll just say save. It says you can now sign in with your new password. So I'm going to open up our simulator again, and now I'm going to try logging in with that new password, johnny@johnnybcodes.com. Our previous password was 123123. If I try to log in with that, we'll get an error. And so instead I do the new password 123321, try logging in with that, and hey, it works. All right, so real quick, I just want to show you one thing in Firebase. So if you come over here to authentication and we go to templates, you'll remember that in that email that I just showed you, it didn't look super user friendly. So you can actually change and edit the email templates. So this is under authentication and templates. You can see here, this is the password reset email that we just got, and you can edit these. So you can say, you can edit the project public facing name. So instead of that, ugly project string, we could say Artable. And then you could add a sender name. You can even change the domain. If you have a website domain, then you can go ahead and customize that. This will have to be approved by Firebase. But yeah, you can change up the subject, you can change up the message, even the action URL, and you can go ahead and customize these different email templates, all right? All right, so that is how you can customize your user authentication email templates. Hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I will see you all in the next one.